I'm going into my next film. I watched Legend on Netflix. It's available on Netflix. And if you're unfamiliar with Legend, it came out in 2015, and it stars Tom Hardy, and he plays identical twins who are gangsters in East London back in the 60s. He plays Ronald and Reginald Cray. And they pretty much took over the whole gang scene in at least East London. So that's kind of what the film is about. Really, the only person of note that I really kind of want to mention is Tom Hardy. It's directed by a guy named Brian Helgeland. I was looking at his filmography, and he's actually done some pretty good stuff. I'm going to say what you will about A Knight's Tale. I kind of really liked A Knight's Tale. He wrote L.A. Confidential. He wrote and directed 42, that baseball movie about Jackie Robinson. So he's not like a poor director or anything. But I remember when this film was coming out, and I was really anticipating this one. Because I love Tom Hardy. I'm a huge Tom Hardy fan. Plus, the trailer was sick. The trailer was awesome, and I was really excited to see it. And then it came out, and a lot of people didn't really have too many good things to say about it. So I decided to just skip it in the theater and just wait for it to come out, rent it or whatever, and saw it on Netflix. I was like, oh, okay, you know what? This is only going to cost me time. So let me just check it out. Who knows? I might actually, I don't like, my expectations are kind of low, and let's just see, what happens and see what I think about it. And, so I watched it, and, it's not good. It's kind of rare where my expectations are low, and it actually it met my expectations. I will say that. It met them, but it didn't really exceed them. I didn't hear good things about the film, and I don't really have too much good to say about it. I mean, drink my whiskey for this shit. But come on. I don't really understand how you really fucked this up. I mean, it's Tom Hardy, and he plays two characters in your film. I will say right now, he's the only good part about this film. He does bring, and he tries his best to carry this one, but it's just ultimately fails because of just the storytelling and the other characters surrounding him, and just the direction is just ugh. Let's just get into it. I mean, because it's not the worst film ever, but it ain't great. Let's just talk about why I don't really think it's very good. Right off the bat, the film jumps right in, and it moves. Sometimes it's a good thing to like jump right into the action and get really going real quickly and be a fast-paced film. But I think it really, really hinders this one. Instead of having a quick moving story, it just kind of feels like a compilation of scenes, and they just like put it together without any sort of narrative, connecting it, and like a constant through line running through the story. Also the characters don't evolve. We'll get into that a little bit. But like I said, it's just kind of just like a compilation of scenes, and like there's really no other constant through line other than some random stupid cliche love story between our main character Frances. First of all, why the fuck is she our main character here? The story is narrated by her, and it's told through the perspective of her. Why is she why is she the main character? Our main character should be Reggie and Ronald Cray, But I mean, the actress who plays Frances, she starred in that Sucker Punch film back in the day. That was a long time ago. But I don't want to shit on her a lot because it's really not all her fault. But like, man, her character was just boring. Like what? Like doesn't evolve over time really. Their love story was not anything interesting, and honestly pretty fucking boring. I found myself multiple times being like, okay, when is this over? And I don't really do that too much because I like to say that I have a pretty good taste in, movies and television and other entertainment media. And so I don't really watch anything bad often. I pick and choose because my time's valuable, and I don't really want this channel to be all negative. And I'm going to describe ways that this film could be better. But so I don't really watch bad stuff very often. So, but I watched this one, so I decided to talk about it because it wasn't too great. But also, like I said, characters don't evolve in interesting ways, at least, and also interesting, like, other characters just drop in and out of the story, like, and they just kind of disappear for no reason. Like Paul Bettany is in this one for like a couple of scenes. If you don't know who Paul Bettany is, he plays Vision in the Avengers movies, the Marvel movies. He plays Vision, the android. A great actor, and he was pretty good in this one, but he's only in it for like 2 to 3 scenes, and they're brief, like small scenes. Like there's a small conflict that the Krays have with this other gang, and they set him up as like the torture gang, and it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting. Let's see what they do with this, and they do fucking nothing with it. They do nothing. I'm like, what the and then they decided to shift gears to this Frances love story, and it's like, why? Like, it doesn't make sense why she is narrating the story. Like, it's such a poor choice. Reggie and Ronald should have been narrating the story. And an interesting thing you could have done was having 2 different perspectives of what was happening in the film. Like, oh, maybe do a scene twice, but one from Reggie's perspective and how he tells it, and then one from Ronald's perspective and how he tells it, because they're very different in personality, even though they look pretty similar. But, so, yeah, the film just kind of, it seems a lot like there was a little too many cooks in this kitchen. There's no consistent vision. It's a very kind of surface level type of film. Like, I'm sure you can enjoy this film if you're just kind of looking for something to turn on and watch. But if you're looking for something like anything of value, like it really wants to be, it does seem like it's trying to be Goodfellas, but you're not. Like, with the whole narration and the like retelling of a semi-true story of like iconic gangsters. The difference between The Legend and Goodfellas is Goodfellas has interesting characters, and they evolve throughout the film. Joe Pesci becomes more and more unhinged as the film goes on until he gets offed. Robert De Niro gets more and more paranoid because of the whole, biggest heist and all, and he starts offing people because he's paranoid. And Ray Liotta gets more and more unsure of the life as the time goes on until he, actually becomes a rat, Like, in here, no characters end, or they end pretty much the same way that they started. And it's just like, this isn't interesting. And having this whole quick, moving film that just is pretty much just a compilation of scenes, it doesn't have this cohesive through line that can guide our characters, and our characters can grow throughout it. And it could have been cool. But like it just wasn't. So yeah, it was overall pretty disappointing. And I'm gonna try to like give like some pointers, or not pointers because it's not like the filmmakers are gonna be watching this, but like how the film can be better. Like, I don't want to just criticize a film and say how it's not, it's just shit, and that's it. Because I don't think that's very valuable, and I don't want this, negative content to be on my channel. My channel is strictly focused to be more positive and give you positive recommendations. But for every, thing that I watch and that I want to talk about, I do kind of want to give some feedback on how it can be better. Like I said, don't have the worst character in a movie be our main character and told in the perspective of that character. Frances is a shit character. She's boring, and there's nothing interesting about her other than being in love with Reggie, our should be main character. But yeah, so get rid of the whole narration thing. You're not Goodfellas. Relax. If you're gonna go with a narration, let Reggie and Ronald narrate your film. But yeah, so the Krays should be the main focus. Tom Hardy should be in every fucking scene of this film because he's the best part. He clearly gives the best performance, and he's clearly carrying the film, or at least trying to. So have him be in every fucking scene because he's really the only good thing about the film. Focus on the wars with the gangs and also maybe conflicts with the fucking American mafia. They tease these, but they don't really do anything with them at all. Even the mafia even discusses one brother turning on the other one, and they don't really do anything else with this, really. I mean, if they do, I forgot. And I watched it 2 nights ago. Like, it's very, your film is very forgettable. And also, just get rid of the whole cliched romance. Like, I get it, there was one in Goodfellas, but like, it's the same thing. We've seen this before. Can we do something else a little bit? Maybe make the film not so like historical based. Just tell a story. Don't retell a story. Just tell a story. You know, don't like, back in the day, this was like this, and this person was like this. Just give me the story. Just tell it. You don't need to narrate shit that I can see on screen. You know. So there's that. That also deals with the whole narration story, and just have a clear vision, a clear goal. You know, have a goal that what your characters want to be. Like, who do your characters like? Know what your characters are in the start of your film, and have them be different by the end of the film. That shows a character arc. That's character evolution. That's what makes stories interesting. That's what makes characters very investing for people, because people grow and people change over time. So when they see that not happen in your film, they just check out and like, what is even the point of me watching this at this point? You know, there's a couple. The only good scenes are when, you know, the Krays are fighting and there's violence, basically, and that's pretty much it. Like, those are the good scenes, and then scenes that, you know, Tom Hardy's in are also, you know, at least decent, but like, I mean, still, like, the characters surrounding the Krays are all boring, and they add nothing to the story. So yeah, maybe having another antagonist, like another gang leader, I don't know, like Paul Bettany that you had, but you got rid of him after like 2 scenes. I don't know, it just seemed like time was really moving fast, and you just kind of lost track of it at a point. So yeah, you know, have a reason why, like, tell me why you're making this film, other than like, oh, this is an interesting point of time, guys. So yeah, that's how I think the film could be better. But does the film have a movie magic, though? I mean, what do you guys think? Probably no, it doesn't. It's pretty clear that it doesn't have the movie magic. I'm actually looking at the Rotten Tomatoes scores. It's actually higher than I thought. It has a 61% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a sort of fresh rating. Audience score is a little lower, though, which I'm really surprised about. But, you know, the only like way I would recommend this film is if you're a huge Tom Hardy fan. I'll check it out. You know, I'm sure this is a very easily digestible film for people. Like, it's a pretty easy film to just turn on the background. But like, if you're like looking to get invested in a story, this is definitely not it. So yeah, that's Legend. Watch it. Don't. It's on Netflix. You know. So